Hello everyone and welcome to the next video on how passive mindsets are established. We're going to be talking about perceived body image in this video. So what we can get out of this subject is an understanding of how modern society sells us an unrealistic and an unhealthy image of what we think we're supposed to look like. And then of course the industries that pop up around that unrealistic image of what we think we're supposed to look like that is highly profitable. And so the point of this video is once we have that full understanding, we can begin to unplug from the passive mindsets that make us fall into the trap of acting upon these false body images that are plugged into our minds and have instead an active mindset to be able to look at the information that we get on a day-to-day basis with a new, critical, and active mindset. So let's go ahead and get into it. So once again, what is a perceived body image? And it's really an unrealistic and unhealthy idea of what we think we're supposed to look like in relation to what we see in propaganda, on TV, and in other places in our society today. Now, once we have this unrealistic and unhealthy image of what we think we're supposed to look like, if we have a passive mindset, we have a tendency to act upon what we think we're supposed to look like. We think we're supposed to have a certain body shape or a body size. Around that unrealistic and unhealthy image of what we think we're supposed to look like comes all the industries and all the businesses that profit from those unhealthy and unrealistic standards that we can never achieve without their help. And that turns into a highly profitable, high revenue generating opportunity for the businesses that come up around these unhealthy standards. These two forces of both the image of what we're supposed to look like being sold to us and the industry that comes up around it saturates us and reinforces from all angles, consciously and unconsciously, this idea of what we think we're supposed to look like. Understanding that this system of influence and profitable industries that grow up around this influence allows us to deal with the stimulus in an empowering way rather than a passive way. So in other words, when we get all these messages from our society, it allows us to have power over it rather than react to it, which empowers us to make sovereign decisions. Once we turn the tables on this and we have an active mindset and we start to achieve optimum health, our bodies are going to settle in to the ideal size and weight we're supposed to be. Optimum health also drives clear skin, clear eyes, strong and healthy hair and nails, and all the other things that we strive for and we pay for in our society can be achieved through optimum health. So let's go ahead and get into some of the subject matter that influences our perceived body image. And we're going to start with movies and TV because this is really a prominent and centerpiece subject where we get a majority of the ideas of what we're supposed to look like. So when you think about, your favorite movies or your favorite actors or local or national celebrities, they use specialized camera angles, lighting, special effects to make the actors and actresses look taller, shorter, thicker, thinner, or whatever it is that they really want, which gives us an unrealistic image of what these people actually look like and the way we think we're supposed to look like in relation to them. What's worse is that when these same people go on a specific diet plan, take a specific pill, undergo the knife and do some sort of a surgery, it sends that subliminal message to the rest of us that we're supposed to do that too, just to keep up. And once again, highly profitable, drives a lot of revenue, and influences all of us to some degree. And worse, it also influences the young in our society as well. So children are being exposed to the same thing just like the rest of us, creating customers for life. Next, let's talk about advertising. So once we have been influenced by all this propaganda and the movies and everything around us, we're flooded with advertisements that sells the products to help us achieve these physical attributes that we can't achieve otherwise on our own. And it really focuses on instant gratification. In other words, trade your money for the specific product or the specific service, and here you go, you have the outcome that you want. That does not drive health, that's just driving the outcome. Of course, this is highly profitable, and money is being made on trying to transform into people that they cannot be and shouldn't be in the context of optimum health. Another source too is magazines, or really any kind of printed material, because I think it's pretty well known in our society today that the images that we see in any kind of printed material today, they use special lighting and special effects and camera angles, but also Photoshop and other touch-up tools like that as well to make people look perfect. And those people do not look perfect in real life. But we still try to achieve that perfection that we see, even if in the back of our minds we know that it's not real. Also, with the emergence of artificial intelligence, also known as AI, today, right now, we have the ability to create people that don't even really exist, to put them into pictures for advertisements and magazines. So we're entering an age where many of the images that we see are not even actual people. But still, this kind of thing will influence the way we think we're supposed to see ourselves. It also influences us too to believe that we have some sort of an imperfection of some kind that actually has to be fixed, which again drives nothing but revenue and profit. So now diet plans, low-fat foods, fat-free foods, and even pharmaceuticals also serve to reinforce that false body image that we think we're supposed to have. Again, it focuses on instant gratification. It's very, very profitable, and it's essentially outsourcing our health to other people. And in doing so, we have no learning of our own and no self-empowerment, which serves to reinforce and keep established this passive mindset that we already had to begin with when we started this. And then the health benefits of this are implied. If you go back to the OODA loop, whenever we see something that's low fat or fat free or some sort of a diet plan, it implies that it's somehow healthy, and it's really not there to drive optimum health. It is there to give you an instant outcome, but does not necessarily support optimum health. Next up, let's talk about the news. Many of the subjects we've already talked about are a part of the news. We have news articles that, again, support all of these unrealistic and unhealthy body images, but to take that a step further, many news agencies and TV networks are paid by the companies that advertise on their networks. And so right off the bat, we're going to be getting biased information that supports and gives advantage to that news network and the company that advertises there. So in other words, news outlets are sympathetic to these industries that pay for their commercial advertising. So that is how we have the passive mindsets that we do in relation to our perceived body image. Once again, just to recap, we're getting these messages from all around us about what we think we're supposed to look like, and the industries that pop up around it that include things like diet plans, pharmaceuticals, even surgeries, and the list goes on, all serve to provide us with that instant gratification of an unrealistic and unhealthy body image that we think we're supposed to have. None of this is meant to drive optimum health in any of us. It is there for some sort of an artificial instant gratification outcome. And we need to look at what's going on around us. We need to look at the influences that are coming to us from every direction with an active mindset. In other words, rather than reacting to this stimulus, this income of information, we need to look at it critically and understand what the point is that it's trying to do to us and make us think that we're supposed to do, and look at it in a critical way to avoid acting upon it in a way that is unhealthy and not in our best interest, but only serves to provide revenue and profit to the companies that have sprung up around this mindset. So that wraps up the perceived body image video. I hope you found this useful. We're going to be moving on next to the medical industry conflict of interest and corruption, as well as the health and food industry conflict of interest and corruption. We'll see you over there, and thanks again for tuning in.